What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chuckfinle's Play Sonic Colors Part 2. We are beginning the Sweet Mountain. If you heard what Robotnik said, if you wasn't sure, I'm not sure if you caught it or not. He said something to the effect of, "Welcome to our next stop, Sweet Mountain, a great destination for your next birthday, or a great way to avoid getting to it." So he will say that a lot of the time, that how dangerous his park is. He says that in a tropical resort. He says next stop, tropical resort. Well, something about the Ferris wheel has great shopping and a constant risk of bodily harm, and you'll hear that every now and again as you listen to it through there. I do apologize for it being so hard to hear. It's very hard for me to hear it as well, so I'm not 100% sure. This is the drift, by the way, that you can only do in certain areas. You can't do it anywhere you want to, like in Sonic Unleashed. But I do apologize for not being able to hear it, but, you know, there's nothing that I can do about it. That's just the way Sega set it up. It is a shame, though. It is, what Robotnik says is pretty funny, and it's a lot funnier to hear Robotnik, the voice actor for Robotnik, say it, other than me reading it off. You can see here is the drill. What the drill does is that will allow you to drill underneath surfaces where you can do so. Here, the ground being made of cake, that makes it a prime digging area, and I won't dig right now. I will hold off and wait until I get into a better area to dig. But there are some surfaces where you just cannot dig in. Any sort of metal you cannot dig through. Here is somewhere we can dig through this. There we go. Well, we'll go ahead and go into drill form, and I'll show it off. Now, you cannot stop the drill while you're using it. The only thing you can do is move. The only thing you can do is just move. Which does make it, and it's not a very tight movement either, so you want to be very careful. That is a quick, it's not really a quick time section, because you cannot activate a quick step while going through here. That is a spring that will send you backwards. We did see that in Sonic Unleashed as well. That was where it debuted at. Now, obviously, you have to watch out for these missiles by using the boost, and just getting across through here as fast as possible. I'm not sure if it's an instant kill. I've never actually been hit by it before, but because you have to miss it, I would probably go ahead and say, yeah, it is a instant kill, but I may be wrong. It just may damage you. So there's our first, oh crap, red star ring. Alright, so this is the last red star ring. Because there are so many areas and points where you can drill, and there was that green, or the cyan wisp section, that's probably what you have to end up doing to find a lot of the, what do you call it, the red star rings through here, is by using the drill. Now, you can skip this section just by pressing the start button, but I do suggest going through there, even though it's not a for sure guarantee you'll gain a life, but it doesn't take that long out of the experience of playing the game, and it isn't that long, it isn't that difficult. So I guess these actually have 6 acts, or I guess 7 acts counting the boss, but 6 actual acts instead of 5. I thought they were 5, but I believe the DS version has 5, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so this is one of those quick time sections. You can see you gain boost for using the quick time, or the quick step, which is very useful if you can get into an area like that where you can just keep using the quick step, and then just run it out of milking for all the points you can. That'll definitely help you out. I don't believe you actually gain any points for. Yeah, I guess you do. You gain. It seems like 10,000 points for making all of the through the trick section. So that's useful if you it's useful to make sure that you make it, just to make sure that you can get through the section as easily, but also to ensure that you can get a bonus as well. Now you want to be careful through here because this is a pretty slow section. You want to take your time while going through here. You don't want to run your boost out all the way like I am. No, that's the drill. And you can drill through here if you care to. I don't, however. I don't believe there's probably a red star ring down there if you do drill. If you do use the drill, though. I don't really like using the drill myself. It's a little unreliable, a little too unreliable for me. And besides, you can get a red star ring if you stay up there, so, might as well just go ahead and stay up there. And there's another red star ring over there, if you can see it. Let's see what, there's a penalty. I guess you have to go a certain way to be able to get to it. And sadly, I missed my opportunity to get it. It's a pretty short level, but it is pretty challenging because of all of the side sections. I actually went on a path that Alright, I'm going to have to cut here. Just give me a moment. Sorry about the cut, anyway. I don't quite remember what I was talking about there. I guess I may have been talking about how short the level was. Yes, okay, if you notice that orange wisp, this is I believe that is the rocket wisp, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the different wisps will do different things, and I won't, it's not a big spoiler if I go ahead and say, what these wisps do, but just because, I won't, because some wisps we won't see until later on in the game, and so I'll just go ahead and wait. Something that I do want to point out, though, it may not seem like it's necessary. I don't know why I'm sitting here wasting time while I'm trying to go for the S ranks rather than the red star rings right now, but it may not seem like it's all that important, right off the bat, but killing all of the enemies in an area has a very high chance of okay, I guess. What you're supposed to do with these orange wisps, which you're supposed to use. This is kind of like this is a 2D skydiving section like we did in Spagonia. In Rooftop Run Act 1, when we was skydiving to go after those ghosts, and in that other section, and well, in the same section where we went after the ghosts. But killing all the enemies in an area has a very high chance of gaining you a red star ring. There are actually a few red star rings later on in the game that involve you going after or killing all the enemies in one section. I believe there's a few more acts like Act 2 where we actually have to kill a bunch of enemies in a certain section to gain a few red star rings, actually. So I will hopefully be able to point that out. I was glad that didn't kill me, but this probably will, because they're gonna keep dropping well, I guess they won't keep dropping rockets on me. To be able to bounce on these higher, you want to get to the very end of the. I got no boost. I was wondering what was wrong. To be able to use those efficiently, those little bouncy poles, you want to use those efficiently. You want to jump on the very end of them rather than in the middle or the end close to the wall. That will help you out the most in trying to get past those sections. Now, to be able to, I'm not sure the exact how long it takes to do one of these sections, like how long it will give you time-wise to run around here and break all of those, as many numbers as possible. But it it does pay to start moving as soon as you can. You'll definitely gain a lot more points. That will help you out a lot more in the long run. You'll be able to break more numbers. Oh, okay. So those are like laser beams, for lack of a better term. They will hurt you if you touch them, so that's why you have to move them by using these buttons. Now you can cheese it and slide underneath them to gain a little bit more time, and that's actually a pretty good idea to use. Ouch. Let's see what happens when you actually jump on one, but okay, let's see. Yeah, you can slide under there when they're that low. So just, well, I'm not gonna be able to get through there, but and yeah, you cannot crawl in this game, so you do want to be careful while having to go through sections like that. You may actually be able to use the cyan wisp to go through there, and whenever you see diamonds like that, you always want to jump on them if you have a cyan wisp. That will help you out in the long run. And there you go, you even got a red star ring out of the deal, so that's always useful. Most of the time, whenever you see the cyan wisp diamonds in an area, that usually means that there's a red star ring in the area, so you want to always try to look out for those. And you have to use these platforms to move around, it would seem. I guess so. You have to use the buttons, or the switches, to activate these platforms. You want to be very careful here because, as you can see, these the laser beams will hurt you. It's not that difficult. They could have made it a lot harder. And I was gonna say there should be a red star ring up here. There we go. That double jump is actually pretty useful, as long as you learn how to use it right and properly. And I've said this before, but you want to wait till the highest point of your spin jump before you attempt to continue moving. Now these, if you've noticed that the purple, the empty, or I guess more like translucent purple canisters, or I guess tanks with that a wisp should be hiding in. Those are purple wisps that we will see later on in the game, and you can come back here. What those purple wisps do is they destroy things, and those boxes that you saw, the black ones with the kind of baby blue markings on them, are the only. You can only destroy those by using the purple wisp. So you want to be careful here. You can kind of tell, it's just standard platforming, just moving along through these switches, making sure that you're fast enough that you don't burn yourself. If there's a path to the left there, if you noticed, I'm not exactly sure what is over there. I've never been that way before. If you don't see a life pop out, I suggest trying to destroy another number. You see I can destroy up to 3 in one go, just not really trying that hard. That should help you out. If you notice, at the top left of the screen, this tells you how many red star rings there are in a level, how many lives you have, and how many S ranks you have left to get. It doesn't tell you, sadly, which levels you have the S ranks on, so you still have to go around and look for them. It's the same way with especially with red star rings, they won't tell you which levels you have there either. So you still have to go and look for those, but it does help you out pretty well, or pretty good. So you can see blue wisp. You have to use the blue wisp to be able to get in there. The blue wisp we will be seeing later on, I believe, in the next level, or the next zone, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I may very well be mistaken, but to the best of my knowledge, I believe that's where we'll see the next section. So I believe there was a red star ring there. There we go. So that's the second one in this level. I'm not. I haven't said this yet, but I'm not really trying to go after the red star rings just now. I'm going to save that. If you know, I will try to go after a red star ring if it's along the way. But I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. I would like to try to get the S ranks if I can. I will save the red star rings for a video that is specific to those later on. I guess I could have went for that one. I'm not exactly sure how to get it, to be honest. So. That's why I didn't actually go for it. You can see the with these those I think lollipops, I believe is what they're called. What you have to do is that you just have to swing on them. You can either use the boost, which is actually recommended, or you can just swing back and forth. But you have to make sure that Sonic's feet are pointing up instead of back behind him. Like you saw, if you noticed, I was trying to do, and I didn't. I couldn't figure out what was like this. When Sonic is up in the air like that, that is the only time when you can actually make it work. Or you can just use the booster here and make it work without using the boost or the homing attack. There we go. Alrighty, so that was Act 5, I think, or Act 4, Act 5. So this is Act 6. This game is actually pretty short, but the replay value is definitely there. Trying to go for the S ranks, there are a whole bunch of multiple paths that you can take, and trying to go for the red star rings, which was their goal. Okay. You know, Sega's goal was to use the red star rings as a form of replay value. Same way with what they did with the let's see, yeah, there we go. All you have to do is just boost through them, or if you notice, the egg pawns with the guns are using them to shoot as well, or it can break them as well. So you want to be very careful. Now, if you notice, when I died, the time did not reset for me. That has happened. That has actually happened before in the Sonic series, but it hasn't happened in a little while. I guess it's more common with the the next generation. The next generation Sonic games. You can kind of tell what you have to use here. You have to try to get a blue wisp to be able to break the blue box, and then you can break the red box, the yellow box, like you've seen me do here. You can do it. You have to use the blue thing there as well. But you can see what those. If you take the blue rings away, that means the boxes won't appear when you reset the effects of the blue wisp. And it's kind of difficult to explain without actually showing off, so I won't talk too much about it just now. Messing around too long with those with the red star rings rather than actually trying to go for the S ranks. So this should be the boss fight. Remember always the 7th act is always the boss fight.
If I was an alien in need of saving, where would I be? Experience has taught me to investigate anything that glows. Experience has also taught me that the best way to solve problems is to kick robot butt.
This is our caution to avoid eating, petting, or saving any aliens.
Excuse me, giant killer robot? You want to do this the hard way or the easy way?
if you thought that dialogue was bad, just wait. I know, in all seriousness, it does get worse. Alright, so you can see here, these suckers, I guess, I think they're suckers, or I think I may have heard they were called truffles. I don't know. They look like a certain brand of suckers, and you can see there that on the sides where the oars would usually be on a pirate ship. Where the oars would usually be on a pirate ship, those are actually suckers. So the red ones, or the black with the red stripes, will actually hurt you, so you want to be careful and watch out for those. All you have to do is just follow him around, watch out for his little minions. You can use those to gain normal wisps or white wisps to be able to gain some boost. Now the pink suckers will explode into rings if you need them, so it's useful to try to go after those if you can. But all you have to do for this boss fight is just avoid the suckers and then get to that switch, throw the switch, mess the ship up, bring it down, then force the captain out of hiding. You do have 12 rings to use if you do take damage, so you can use that if you need to. You can see there's a lot more little guys, so you do want to be very careful. Where the hell did the captain get to? What the? There we go. You want to be careful not to have him land on you. And you can see he will leak rings, so you can grab some rings if you need to. You know, you can boost back and forth to try to gain a few rings. That's always a good idea to help with end of the game, end of the level score. And there you go. Nope, I was gonna say I was hoping I'd get an S rank, but I will get an S rank as we go along. These levels are surprisingly not my best levels. As we go along, I should be able to get some more. I guess have I showed what the array does? I guess I should be too quick to end it.
Hey, Tails. It's the BBBE. Best boss ever. So, has Yacker given you any more information or limericks or whatever it is he's spouting?
Well, first, remember, this translation stuff isn't 100%.
Trust me, I remember.
So anyway, these aliens are made up of a really powerful energy source called hyper-go-ons. It's inside of them.
Like a battery?
No. Well, sort of. It's their life source. You only got a taste of it. Look at what happened. Battery is sort of an understatement. Funny thing, it was first translating as horrible body odor. Anyway, it seems an evil man, and you might know him, who they call Baldy Nosehair.
Baldy Nosehair! That's the best thing I've heard all day. I gotta remember that one.
I know, I've already written it down. Anyway, he's draining them of their power, all their power, and using it for an evil aquatic mammal? An evil dolphin? No, a porpoise. Oh, an evil purpose.
That's good intel. Keep working on it.
Hey, where are you going?
To find Baldy McNosehair, of course. I'm totally calling him McNosehair.
See what I tell you. Okay, so that's Sweet Mountain done, completed, thankfully. So I thank you for watching. The challenge of the video is how many of those suckers that I jump on in the boss fight for Sweet Mountain Zone. I thank you for watching. Next time we will be doing Starlight Carnival, so until then, later. Alright, so I just realized that I had forgotten to do the level trivia for Sweet Mountain, so here we go, and I do apologize for missing it. What Robotnik says is, next stop, the Sweet Mountain. Enjoying our candy paradise is the perfect way to celebrate your next birthday or to avoid reaching it. So, a level overview for Sweet Mountain is the second or third zone, depending on whichever, depending on your own choice. You know, you can see here, you can either do Starlight Carnival or Sweet Mountain. Both of those are unlocked after completing Tropical Resort. You know, it's up to you, whichever you prefer doing. is a level based on food, particularly sweets, and Robotnik has turned it into a giant confectionery. It has huge cakes the player can drill through, donuts, some used as shuttle loops, and cheeseburgers, the only non-sweet food. There are huge jellies in the DS version that serve as springs. Both versions have jelly bean rockets. In the Wii version, there are enormous projectiles that periodically fire and give damage to Sonic, while the DS version, they are smaller and can be used for transportation. There are gingerbread men and lollipops scattered throughout the stages levels in both the Wii and the DS version of the game. Sweet Mountain has parts built by Robotnik in it. Throughout the level, some egg ponds have whisks and chef hats. Wisp colors. Every wisp is available in the zone. The cyan, yellow drill, and orange rocket are the ones that you unlock. Or the yellow drill and the orange rocket wisps are the ones you unlock, but you can also use the pink spikes, the green hover one, the blue cube, and the purple frenzy. For Act 1, Sweet Mountain Act 1 introduces drifting and the yellow drill. Sonic must avoid barrages of giant missiles filled with jelly beans being launched at him. In this act, there are plenty of areas to explore underground, including small sections containing goodies such as red rings, rows of rings, or white wisp capsules. Clearing this act unlocks the yellow drill for all stages, which enables Sonic to use the drill color power. For Act 2, Sweet Mountain Act 2 opens up with a 3D section that includes a quick step area followed by a drifting area. Then the main part of the level sees Sonic circumnavigating a massive hamburger tower, much like the giant tree in Savannah Citadel Day stage. Act 3 of Sonic Unleashed. 2 of the red rings in this act can only be reached by using the green hover. Act 3, Sweet Mountain Act 3 introduces the player to the orange rocket. There are more drifting sections and more 2D sections. Sonic must avoid the jelly bean rockets that are plummeting toward the surface. These can easily knock Sonic into a bottomless pit, so timing is key for clearing this act. Upon clearing it, the orange rocket will now be unlocked for all stages. It appears in what they're saying here, and they messed they messed up saying it, but the orange rocket will now appear in every stage that it is available in. Not every level has every single wisp color, but most of them do. But I will make sure to point those out as we go along. Allowing Sonic to use the rocket color power. Act 4 takes place entirely in 2D. This act focuses around switches that cause obstacles and platforms to move, allowing Sonic to progress through the stage. One of the red rings here can only be reached by using the purple frenzy. Act 5 starts with a brief intro to the quick step and immediately launches Sonic into puzzle sections with the blue cube. This stage also introduces giant lollipops that allow Sonic to swing to higher altitudes, mainly either manually or by boosting. Lastly, the pink spikes appear, which lead to the end of the stage. Act 6 is comprised of more blue cube and pink spike puzzles. Being shorter than Act 5, Act 6 starts with Sonic beaming out the shadows to stop a horde of egg pawns. The egg pawns with guns will shoot the yellow blocks, causing Sonic's flooring to disappear. Robotnik's quotes for this level: "We know they look delicious, but please refrain from licking the rides. That would be disgusting. Do you know where those rides have been? People have been sitting on those rides with their butts. Okay, go ahead, lick them. Don't say we didn't warn you. Enjoy the rides, but be careful. The seats may be sticky. We hope you're enjoying the sunny day here at the park. Sadly, a sunny day once again means that the Choco Coaster is out of service due to melting. Welcome to the Sweet Mountain. Insulin will be provided at a marginal cost, and by marginal we mean enormous. There's no line at Bake Me Crazy, the ride that simulates what it's like to be baked like a cake. The ride itself lasts an amazing 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown, but recommended for our guests who are sensitive to temperatures exceeding 350 degrees. Due to cost restraints, some of the donuts used in this ride are of the stale variety. We apologize for this cost-cutting measure and hope you enjoy the ride." During the cutscene, visitors are cautioned to avoid feeding, petting, or saving any aliens. My information here says during cutscene, should it be the second world visited. So I guess maybe this same cutscene will appear in Starlight Carnival Zone if you were to go there. The boss is Captain Jelly. The first part of this boss takes place on a pirate ship. Cannons will fire cannonballs at Sonic, who can use the homing attack to destroy them and progress through the ship. One cannonball holds the yellow drill wisp inside. After finding it, the player can use it during the fight against Captain Jelly. Once you reach the end of the ship, attack the switch, which will stop the ship's navigational controls. This causes the ship to crash land into some cake that can be drilled through. Sonic jumps off the ship and is met by the pirate robot and a group of smaller minions. This group becomes a horde the second time through. The pirate robot will attack and hop around. You can only hit it while it is on the ground, otherwise it will knock your rings out. Yellow Drill will knock it back to the ship in one hit. After you attack it a couple times, he hops back to the ship and the process repeats. After he is defeated, he'll blow up and drop rings. Okay, so level trivia for this. Sweet Mountain has many similarities to the day levels of Savannah Citadel and Sonic Unleashed. One of the primary examples is the Giant Burger in Act 2, which is an homage to the giant tree in Sonic Unleashed. The general level design also holds many similarities. Additionally, Sweet Mountain holds a few other references to Sonic Unleashed in general. Because you can choose between Sweet Mountain and Starlight Carnival for the second stage, those two stages have identical animations for the cutscenes. However, you won't notice this unless you watch the cutscenes and options. Sweet Mountain is the only world in Sonic Colors to have every color of Wisp available, so I guess only Sweet Mountain is the one that you can play. You can use every single Wisp color in. The music for Sweet Mountain sounds suspiciously similar to a background tune that was used in the video for the unreleased Sonic Ride that was included in Sonic Jam. In the DS version, this is the hardest level in which to get the Red Star Ring in. The hub music is a remix of Red Mountain music from Sonic Adventure. I'll listen to it real quick. I don't see the similarity. During one of his announcements, Eggman says that insulin will be provided. This is presumably a reference to the fact that sugary foods can cause diabetes and is especially unhealthy for diabetics. Okay, well, anyway, so that's all the level trivia. I do apologize for missing it, but here it is now. So anyway, thank you for watching. We will be doing Starlight Carnival next time. So until then, later, everyone.